بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا وإمامنا محمد. أما بعد، فيسرني في هذا اللقاء أن أكون مع أخينا الفاضل الأخ أكرم من أوغندا، وهو ممن تيسر لنا اللقاء به منذ سنوات، وأكرمه الله بالإسلام. رغبت أن نسجل معه لقاء قصيرا نافعا فيما نرجو إن شاء الله تعالى. معنا أخونا الشيخ داود يترجم لنا بلغة الإنجليزية، وسيجيبنا أخونا أكرم على ذلك. تفضل الشيخ داود.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Professor Asim Al-Qaryoti, Alhamdulillah, he said he's very happy to meet us and to meet our brother Akram. Akram entered Islam, so Professor wanted to share with us some of the information with regards to Akram. It might be beneficial to those who are watching us.
بداية مرحبا بك يا شيخ أكرم.
الحمد لله.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
عندي أود أن يعطينا تعريف موجز عن سبب دخوله في الإسلام، وكيف دخل في دين الإسلام، ومتى كان.
He wants a brief background, the way how you entered Islam, when did you enter Islam, and what made you enter Islam.
Alhamdulillah, thank you so much, Sheikh.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to see you. This is could be my second time. But first and foremost, I always love to share the beauty about Islam. Of course, I grew up in a Christian family, a staunch Christian family. We were believing, but as we grow up, we realize that we become independent, and maybe we search for the truth ourselves. We grew up knowing only the negative about Islam, honestly. There's nothing good we knew about Islam. All was bad. Everything that was put around Islam was really negative, so that you could not go where Muslims are. But Alhamdulillah, as I grew up, the time that I had a good job, the time that I was a musician, doing my music, and I was there, up there. But Allah made me go through a certain situation.
كان موسيقار يعني كبيرا.
نعم.
So the situation was being alone, and you're thinking of how to serve God. Because I tried to go to so many churches with my life of drinking alcohol, taking drugs, and whatever that goes with musicians. I always thought about God whenever I laid back on my bed alone. But I would try to search for God from different places, in churches. Of course, we have now the born-again churches. I would go. The traditional churches no longer work so much, but the born-again churches, where we have even the so-called prophets in Uganda. So many are prophets in Uganda. I would go to those people to search for God. But I did not get satisfaction. Up to when one night I was meant to go to a certain club, and I felt like I should not go. I felt a little bit weak in me. And I started thinking about God. That day my manager called me and told me, you know what, let's go to club, you have to sing. And I told him, no, I'm not feeling okay, I am weak. But that night, it was a Wednesday night, I thought about so much about God. And one voice echoed in my head, telling me, you have tried so many places searching for God. Why don't you try Islam? When that voice echoed in my head, in my mind, I even laughed at myself. I looked at the things that I had around me, which I cannot lose. How can I lose my music career? How can I lose my alcohol? Because I had a small bar in my house. How can I lose all these treasures? Because Muslims don't allow it. How can I just for Islam? But it's kept on coming back and back in my head. And that night, honestly, I hardly slept on Wednesday, alhamdulillah. But on Thursday, it came back. I did not even go to work because I was working as an entertainment producer for one of the big TV stations, that is NBS TV. And I did not go. I gave an excuse, I'm not okay. But I was weak deep inside me. And the voice telling me to become a Muslim kept on coming and intensifying. And on that Thursday night, I fell to sleep again. Up when I thought of some old student of mine was called Salim. I called him at night, at around midnight, and he called me by my name, my Christian name. Why are you calling me now? For me, I don't go to club. I expect you to be in club now. Why are you calling me? I told him, I am home. There is a problem I'm facing. I told him there's something telling me to become a Muslim. He laughed. He laughed at me because he could not believe. He knew my life from school up to university, up to work. He knows that I am a musician. I'm someone who does all that. Alhamdulillah, he told me, tomorrow morning, that is Friday, I'll take you to the masjid, that is Kibuli, to take Shahada. I felt so happy. After getting that statement from Salim, I got a lot of peace and I slept. I woke up on Friday and I called Salim. Subhanallah, his phone was off. I said, now, this gentleman told me he's going to take me to the mosque. And now the phone is off. I called from morning up to evening. But at around 11 p.m. in the night, I thought of a person that I could call. And this gentleman, we used to work with him at NBS, and he would host a Dawah program. That is NBS Dawah, every Friday at 4 p.m. And I didn't have connection with this gentleman because we were not friends. I mean, he's a Dawah gentleman, he's a Muslim, I'm not, I am a musician. But I thought, if I got a connection to this man, maybe I can become a Muslim. The only connection I could get is through our accountant for NBS. I told him, there's a gentleman who comes and does this show. I know he passes by your office for some facilitation. Do you have his number? He laughed. You and this man, you don't connect. Why do you want him? Why do you want his number? I told him, there's something I want to ask him. Please help me with his number. He gave me the number, alhamdulillah. And I could not call him at night. I waited till morning and I called him at around 7 a.m. He picked, I introduced myself and I told him my name is so and so. He said, I know you. Hey, what's the problem? I told him, I've taken 3 nights thinking about becoming a Muslim.
Wow.
And I've made my decision. I've looked around and I think it is you who can deliver me to the right path. Can I please find you? He laughed. Everyone used to laugh because they knew my lifestyle. So he told me, but if you're serious, find me at Pal FM. By then he was working at Pal FM as the MD. Is called Haj Karim Kalisa. He was the MD. He would just come to NBS to host that show and go back. I just went and jumped on a border and I asked the border, do you know where Pal FM is? He said, yes. So take me there. He took me there and I reached at around 10 a.m. When I reached there, he was in a meeting. They called him and he said, tell him to wait. We're in a general meeting and maybe I can see him after, maybe by lunchtime. Subhanallah, they forgot about me. And up to 5 p.m., I was at Pal FM waiting for Shahada. From 10 to 5. When they came out of the meeting, because they came, they prayed, they went back. But the receptionist did not call to remind him that I'm still around. So after the meeting, they called him and told him, there's a gentleman, he's so and so. He said, is he still around? I told him, yes, he's waiting for you. That's when he took me serious. So he took me up, and alhamdulillah, he gathered a number of sheikhs, including one of the prominent sheikhs, that's the Sheikh Ahmad Acheyune. They gathered and they interrogated me. They asked me a couple of questions: why I want to become a Muslim, am I forced, is it a woman? We have that. The first question they will ask you, are you going to marry a Muslim woman? That's why you're taking Shahada. I told them no. I've taken 3 days without sleep. I'm only thinking about becoming a Muslim. So I want to become a Muslim. I've made my decision. So alhamdulillah, that day at around 6 is when I became a Muslim through the late Sheikh Shaban Menya, who gave me the name Akram from Davis.
Alhamdulillah. هل بقي شيء من التواصل معهم؟
Yeah. Your friends before you became a Muslim, those whom you used to part with the music industry.
Alhamdulillah, when I converted to Islam, I went to the convert center to study Islam. I switched off my phone for 2 months because I didn't want people to disturb me. I wanted to concentrate. So by the time I came back, I was living a totally different life. So I wanted to settle completely in Islam. That's why I could not go back here and come back here. I would not be strong. So I decided to first of all do away with the old friends and start up a new life, try to get new Muslim friends. But I faced a challenge where I was at the verge of losing the job because I could not go back to club as an entertainment producer for the TV station. I could not do that anymore. So I had no job. I would come and they would tell me, you cannot do anything because you converted to Islam. Are you going to go to the club? I said, no, I cannot. So we don't have a job for you. As I was exiting and about to resign, alhamdulillah, the owner of NBS, Mr. King Kalisa, came up with an idea of starting a Muslim TV station, that is Salam Television. And I was entrusted to be the pioneer of Salam Television. So alhamdulillah, just a few months from the center, I started up an Islamic TV station, the first TV station in Uganda, on my head with my little Islam that I knew. So that made me very busy, and I could not go back to the other life. So I could not now get to the other friends anymore because now I had to interact with new friends.
After that, still.
After that, I've met a few, like from my music manager, my former music manager. I've met the musicians themselves. A few we have just bumped maybe on a street or somewhere. Are you in Uganda? When did you come back? I tell them, I'm in Uganda. I've been in Uganda for all time. No, we thought ever since you converted, you went out. Maybe you went to Arabia or I tell them, no, I'm around. Just that the life changed. Of course, the reason why I did that is that if you're not decisive, if you don't completely decide to change your life, it's hard to be strong. So you need to make a bold and hard decision, and maybe they will go, because even your friends will tell you. I remember when I told the last time I went to one of the big musicians, was a friend. I remember when I told him that I've left music and I'm really going to concentrate on Islam. He told me, no. Come on. It's not only you. There are so many musicians who are Muslims. You can also be Muslim, it's okay, but you can also sing. I told him, you know what? To be honest, I need to do away with this life. I know it's not easy for me. It's where I've been getting some money, but I have to do away with it. Yes.
What about Hajj?
I was lucky that when I started Salam in 2015, after converting to Islam, just because of the work that I used to do for Islam, for the 1 year that I started Salam, the only TV station I would not sleep, Salam TV, and I could not sleep, I could do everything. So many people were seeing what I was doing. They were observing my effort. So I was awarded Hajj from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
ما شاء الله الحمد لله.
And
هذا مع ضيوف خادم الحرمين
نعم.
أعتقد.
yes.
جزاهم الله خير، لهم
So,
فضل كبير حقيقة في هذا، وهذا مستمر إلى الآن. They continue this every year. Yeah.
So I got that chance, and I could not believe, because
This is after how many years after? you
after
became Muslim?
1.5 years, because I converted to Islam in 2014 October. Then 2015, then I was awarded Hajj. Imagine, on my wedding day in 2016. So on my wedding day is when they gave me that gift. When I was wedding my wife, they gave me a gift of Hajj. That is 2016 in July.
Allahumma lakal hamd.
So I got that, and alhamdulillah, I went for Hajj. And it was one of the kind, because it's hard to find someone who has just converted to Islam a year and they go for Hajj. Yeah. So when I went, I came back, and everyone now accepted. Even those who were fighting me, they just know now I've gone forever. So in 2016, I made Hajj, and when I came back, even my family was positive. I made my du'as at the Kaaba for Allah to soften mostly the heart of my auntie, because my auntie brought me up as an orphan from childhood. So when me becoming a Muslim seemed to be a disappointment to her, because she's a staunch Christian, and she was looking at me as someone she has brought up from childhood as an orphan, no parent, no mother, no father, and then now I'm not following her religion. So when I was at the Kaaba, I always prayed to Allah to soften the heart of my auntie. And when I came back, she called me and told me, I have organized shukur at home for you. I'm going to call all the sheikhs in the village. They will gather for you. They will be waiting for you to make dua. Alhamdulillah, when I went home, we even made adhan, which has never been there. We prayed Jama at home, and from then, my family has never been negative about Islam. I have so many people who have converted to Islam directly in my family, and so many are still converting to Islam, alhamdulillah. So that is from then, alhamdulillah, Allah has made me strong in Islam. Yeah.
نسأل الله لنا ولك الثبات.
آمين.
آمين.
جزاك الله خير. طيب، لو أردنا أن نقول يعني أنت أكرمك الله بالإسلام، الحمد لله، اسمك أكرم وأكرمك الله بالإسلام.
Your name is Akram. Allah gifted you with the gift of Islam.
ماذا يعني قدمت في هذه السنوات أو يمكن أن تقدمه في خدمة الإسلام وخاصة لغير المسلمين أو المهتدين الجدد؟
What did you do for Islam, and what can you do for the non-Muslims to join Islam, and what can you do for the new converts of Islam?
Alhamdulillah, the first thing in my life was to appreciate the gift of Islam. I faced, of course, a couple of challenges as Akram. So I always ask Allah that if I am to go through these challenges and stay Muslim, I request you, Allah, to give me something that I can stand on for the sake of Islam. A job that I can do, and I'm doing it as me, initiated by me, and for the sake of Islam. Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me, it's not my idea, it's from Allah. After the experience I faced in the center, and after I thought of who can really come up and empower the new Muslims, who can come up and listen to them. Apart from, going to the center and learn Islam, that is good, but it's the basic. There are challenges beyond that a Muslim, a new Muslim cannot know unless they go back to the community. And so many converts come from the center and they go back to the communities. And these communities, they are the aunties who chase them, the mother who chase them, the father who chase them, the brothers and sisters who don't want to see them after embracing Islam. So many of them called me we are facing this challenge. How can you help us? Because they knew I was a musician, I had some
Celebrity
money.
life.
Yes.
Celebrity life.
So they thought I could help them. But alhamdulillah, I also got bankrupt because I used all the money I had for them in the center. But I could not show them that I'm also like you. So I asked Allah, and Allah gave me a thought of starting up an organization called UMCA Foundation. UMCA is Ummah Muslim.
This name from you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ummah Muslim Convertibility. And I managed to register it. And mainly is to sensitize the community about what converts go through. Not only teaching them Salah, it is good because you have to know Salah, but again also that welcoming them and understand that there are a lot of challenges. And if Akram became a Muslim from Davis, he only has Sheikh Asim and Sheikh Dawood as the brothers. Their family will reject me. And I only have to lean on the two of you.
And there is that torture, psychological torture.
Yes, because these are you've been with these people from childhood, and they are saying, never step in this home. So I used the Salam TV, because I was a part of management, to sell the idea to the community. And I was using my small salary to go to the convert centers, to sensitize, to help the converts with the different problems. And up to when I left Salam and I went somewhere, Allah gave me another challenge of going to a Christian entity. That is a born-again TV station for 2 years, from 2017 to 2019. And my contract after that, I gathered some little money, and that's when I registered UMCA officially and got office, and then started the activities of helping the new Muslims.
جزاك الله خير. Thank you very much. جزاك الله خير. طيب لو أردنا سؤال، يعني نصيحة توجهها إلى غير المسلمين، يعني من أقاربك وأصحابك وغيرهم.
What advice can you give to the non-Muslims, more so your relatives, your friends, your old friends? What can you tell them about Islam, what you found in Islam?
Alhamdulillah, I always tell the non-Muslims and the Muslims that were born Muslims, because I understand so many people are born Muslims, but they don't know that Islam is a gift. Someone was born Musa, but he doesn't want to pray because he doesn't know the gift he has.
He does not appreciate
Islam. I really tell you boldly that you don't understand what you hold, what Allah gave you without even asking. For Christians, we do dialogue. Ask me a question, I'll answer.
جزاك الله خير. Thank you very much. سؤال أخير, last question. الآن هو كان موسيقار كبير ومشهور مع المغنين وكذا، عنده جمهور كبير ومشجعين وكذا. إيش شعوره في السعادة أول، كيف، والراحة والاطمئنان قبل، والفرق بعد إسلامه؟ إيش هل يعطيني تصور كيف كان وكيف أصبح؟ ما شعوره؟
After becoming a Muslim, the happiness which you got, when you compare it with before, the life which you used to stay, which was a bit full of fun.
To be honest, in the beginning, it was like torture. Like you have not understood. You come up with a decision to become a Muslim, but you don't know why you are. So whatever challenge you face, you think you are suffering. And that transition coming from this life to, a more straight life. Because now you used to, every time, I remember every time at 5 p.m. every day, I would go and take a beer every day. Now you come when you cannot take it. Mm-hmm. It's 5 and you cannot. Even when your heart still pumps for the beer, you say, oh, you remember, I say, I I'm a Muslim. I cannot take it. So it was hard for me really to accept and to go away, even with the environment, because I had friends around me. I went back to the same NBS, so these people would always say, mock me. You know, you can go and take the beer. It's okay, you can still be a Muslim. You take the beer. So those challenges, I was going through a lot of pain. But after proving to them that I cannot go back to that life, and after accepting that these are challenges I'm going through, and Allah will give me happiness at the end of the tunnel, and I know that this happiness will be eternal happiness, everlasting happiness, I made that decision. And I differentiated the other happiness to this happiness, the world happiness, and what happiness Allah is giving you. So the other happiness was just worldly, where you do, I am, you know. Now you need to be straight, and you need to face everything when you are sober. The other time, when you feel something is stressing you, you take a beer. Now, when you have a problem, you go to Allah. Yeah. So this made me first understand that Allah is the provider. Allah is everything. If I have a problem, I pray, and Allah is going to answer. And that alone has given me a lot of happiness. And when I talk to people about Islam, I smile, because so many prayers of mine have been answered by Allah. To be honest, Alhamdulillah. I've prayed so much, and whenever I go with niyyah, intention, and knowing that Allah will answer me, I get the answers. Wallahi, I get the answers, and there is no much happiness than that. Before, I was lying to myself that I was happy, but I was leading happiness for the sake of other people.
Alhamdulillah. جزاك الله خيرا. Thank you very much, Brother Akram. أسأل الله الثبات لي ولكم، وأن يستعملنا وإياكم في طاعته وما يرضيه، وأن ينفع بكم كما هداكم الله إلى الإسلام، أن ينفع الله بكم الآخرين. ونسأل الله يبارك في هذا المكان أمك، وفي هذا الاستوديو، استوديو أمك. وجزاكم الله خير. Thank you very much. شكرا للجميع. Thank you for all. جزاكم الله خير.
بارك الله فيكم.